Boss Rush 940 Day 6. So today's a pretty easy day thanks to a strategy that Anfindel posted on the Discord. They had already figured out the whole strategy and posted it on there before I even looked at today. They post a lot of daily Mercs content as well, so I'll link their video from today down in the description and go check out their stuff for sure. Anfindel does come up with a lot of good strategies that we see pretty regularly, especially that are more budget friendly than a lot of the things that I post. So for sure, go check out Anfindel's content. But the strategy here is we've got Mi'da as the first boss, who can only be damaged by healing. So we had to use something a little bit different for this. The plan though is to use Hook Tusk to turn Mi'da blue, and then use an all realities to make the fight end very quickly. There's only one thing that can really change with this comp, and it depends on your artillery strike damage. So the follow-up bosses have 250 HP and 200 HP. The 250 HP ones are blues, and then the 200 HP is a green. So if you have over 250 HP or damage artillery strike, then you can use Genn in this slot instead of Eudora. If you have between 200 and 249 damage artillery strike, then you can use Eudora to be able to still kill those blue enemies that have 250 HP. If you have over 250 though, just use whichever mercenary has more hit points, which for most people is probably going to be Genn, because we tend to invest more in Genn than Eudora. But either one can work fine in this slot. So the full comp here is going to be Arfus with Downward Dog, Dana with Ice Block, Hook Tusk with Prop Knife, Eudora or Genn, either with Briny Bracers or Gilnean Strength on Genn, Arden with Band of Frost, and Malchezaar with 3 moves ahead. It also doesn't really matter what equipment you have on Malchezaar or Hook Tusk, just don't use the one that changes enemies into protectors, and don't use the one that starts Hook Tusk as a fighter. So let me just jump into it here. I'm just running this with Eudora. That is the more like budget artillery strike friendly version, but if your Genn has more hit points and you have over 250, I would just use Genn here. You could even technically use Edwin if he's the highest health out of those 3 and he deals at least 45 damage with his 3rd ability. But I don't think that's going to be the case for almost anyone, so it's probably going to be either Genn or Eudora for most people. So the only thing that can really go wrong with this is if one of these shades kills your artillery strike mercenary on turn 1. There's not really anything you can do to prevent that. You can mitigate the odds of it happening, but you can't fully prevent it. So I'm going to swing with my Arfus here. We want to make sure that Arfus dies, because next turn there could be, I think there's a 4-speed AoE that Mi'da can cast. So we need Arfus to die for sure, and they don't always target Arfus. So you can't rely on them just shooting at your Arfus. I'm going to shoot my own Jaina here just to weaken her up so we can finish her off more easily later. And then we're going to Turnabout Strike to kill off our Hook Tusk, or at least get Hook Tusk injured, and turn Mi'da blue. And then we don't want to do anything with Eudora because we don't want to clog the board in case these things shoot at like Jaina or something like that. And we need that board space for summoning a water elemental next turn. So all you need to do is kill Arfus and Turnabout Strike, and then if you want to shoot with your Jaina to weaken something, you can. This also does give you a little bit of frost ramp, the 3 frost damage ramp there, for killing these 45 health adds with your Cold Snap next turn. So if your Varden doesn't do at least 45, that little bit of ramp can help a little bit as well. So we're just hoping that these guys don't kill our Eudora. Okay, they didn't, so we're fine. And we did proc our Ice Block. Sometimes that Ice Block won't proc though, and that's fine as well. So you want to bring out Varden for sure. If you have the board space, you'll bring out both. Sometimes you'll only lose one mercenary there, and then it would just be Varden that you bring out. So here we just want to Cold Snap. If you need more damage, because your Cold Snap doesn't do at least 45 here, then you could, if Jaina's not slowed, you could shoot with like an Ice Flows for, or actually we need to summon a Water Elemental this turn, so you can't do anything with that. But you could use any of these other mercenaries to help out. So if you want to weaken a little bit with this Blazing Song, or if you needed to swing with your Eudora, or if you needed to swing with your Malchezaar. In my case, all of these would do too much damage and kill this, and our Cold Snap does enough anyway. So all we really have to do is summon a Water Elemental and do a Cold Snap. So for this next turn, all we need to do is freeze both of these adds. So this goes here, and this goes here, and then we want to all realities Mi'da here. And there's not really anything else productive to do on this turn. We are going to want to get rid of our Jaina. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot her now. There's not really any advantage to bring her around for next turn. You could do that on the following turn as well, though. So if you didn't want to shoot Jaina that turn, that would be fine. And then here, because we're using Eudora and not Genn, we're going to need to get a 7-speed shot here. And sometimes these will cast a Shadow Shock, like in this case. And that happens at 6 speed. So since this is slower, we're going to need to Cold Snap again. So first we want to kill off our Malchezaar so we only have an Artillery Strike and one other Mercenary alive. Then we're going to Cold Snap to stop this 6-speed from acting before we do our heal. And then we're going to bounce our Eudora to kill off Mi'da. A lot of the times the Shard won't be alive, so I'm not relying on that. But you could use one of these 4 or 5-speed heals to finish off Mi'da instead of using your Eudora heal. But sometimes this will be dead, so I'm just not using it here. But as long as it happens after you kill off this Mercenary and you're left with just an Artillery Strike +1, then it would be fine to use these to finish off Mi'da. And then this bounce here is just going to do a little bit of healing, and that's enough to finish off the boss. So now you just need to hit an Artillery Strike, and then that's a win. Doesn't matter what we take on Varden, and there's our win. So the cleanup at the end would basically be the same with Genn. Just keep in mind that whatever you shoot that's even speed is going to finish the fight. So in a lot of cases, I would swing with my Malchezaar, and then when I shoot with my Ice Flows from Jaina on turn 4, that would activate Genn. But you could use any even speed attack at that point to finish the fight off. So just watching the fireworks here, and then we're going to collect our, I think it's 235 renown, and then we are on to 980. Almost up to the 4-digit range. So 200 there on Ranel is going to be the highest you have to deal with your green Artillery Strike. So as long as you have at least 200, you should be able to do this strategy. If you use the Eudora version anyway. Right, there's our 235, 7 turns, pretty quick and easy run. Thanks again to Anfindel for the strategy. And again, make sure you check out their content. I'll link today's video from Anfindel down in the description. And that'll do it for 940. I think the best farm days were day 4 and day 2 with the Deathwing comps. This was the Belinda farm. I don't even remember what the boss was on day 2. Let's see. This is my memory's failing me. I didn't do much farming this week. Oh yeah, it was the Ice Howl day. So we've got that Deathwing comp for that one as well. So either one of those should be reasonably good farms. I think a lot of people were enjoying the day 4 farm with Belinda over the Ice Howl one, but they're both probably fine. But yeah, that'll do it for 940. I'll see you on 980 week, and good luck on your runs.